Okay, the okay. So why do we write programs? Why do we need to write computer programs, softwares? Why do we create softwares? So we started with this discussion, right? Now then, when you build softwares, for example, let's take Google Map, for example. If you take Google Map, right? So when you build softwares like this, so why do we do this? In order to solve a problem, right? Or maybe an ATM software. So we said we build these softwares using a concept called algorithms, right? Algorithms. Because this word actually, this words, I think this emerged from Arabic or Persian word. So that's why it's little. I mean, algorithm is very close to right, al Khwarizmi or something. I can't remember that, right? Okay. Uh, so now, okay, so now we have to represent the algorithm. Remember last class I explained this. So we can write algorithm. We can write algorithm to solve the problems. But if everyone try to write algorithm on their own way, then that's a problem. When interpreting that or when translating the algorithm to computer program, there will be a problem, right? So the computer engineers, they, or maybe you can call them as scientists, whatever. So they come up with some solution. So that is to how to represent algorithm. So we have in our syllabus we have two methods. One is called the flowcharts, which is the graphical way of representing the algorithm. So we are going to learn in detail about the flowcharts. The second method is called the pseudocodes. So the text to text representation. So you can represent the algorithm in a standard or accepted way. Okay, note down this. You can write down the heading as let's see, yes, flowcharts and pseudocodes in that. So this will be our heading today, flowcharts and pseudocodes. Check the spelling for the pseudocodes. Then representation of algorithm. Okay, note down these two, representation of algorithms. First one is flowcharts, graphical representation, then the pseudocode. Okay. Right. Now we'll see, we'll learn how to build a flowchart, how to construct a flowchart. Okay. Okay. Now, so when you start the flowchart, we are going to use symbols. Basically, with the flowchart, we are going to use symbols. So first of all, we'll see what are the symbols we're going to use. Let me start with an example. Okay. Give me a minute. Let me go to this. Okay. Now, okay, this is the tool I'm going to use, but you have to draw the flowchart, so you can't do the softwares here. Right. Now, let's say a simple example. Let's take a simple example. Let's take this one. Okay, we want to display. Or we want to enter the word hello world, and we want to display this word in the screen, right? So we want to enter the word hello world, and we want to display this hello world in the screen, in the monitor, right? So we want to write a simple program for that purpose. So right, so how do you draw the flowchart for this purpose? Right, so okay, look at this one. So we'll start with this this oval symbol. So we start the flowchart like this, right? Hope you can read this, no? Right? Start button is the start. This is the start, right? Then, okay, after, okay, you have to point out, or you have to start, you have to draw the starting one. Then, okay, what is the next step? In order to display the hello world, if I ask you the algorithm, very simple algorithm. So what would be the next step? Yes, what would be the next step? Yes, input. Very good, very good. So you have to input. So what you have to input? You have to input the word hello world. Yes, input the letters. Okay, now we have a question. How do you write the input symbol? What is input symbol? Okay, so we have a parallelogram. So this is they have accepted, as I said. Remember, so this is kind of a standard, right? So everyone accepted this. So this is okay, our input. So input. Let's say don't worry about this. We'll see how best. I just want to introduce this symbol. So let's say input input this word display. Sorry, input hello world. Hello world. Let me make it little bigger. Wait. Maybe 125. Okay, maybe okay. Better. Right, now look at this one. We start the flow chart. So we have entered input the key, input the words. Okay, what would be the next step? So you have entered the word, then what is the next step? So we want to display it. Yes, we have the, what is the process here? Because there's no process in this case, especially. So we just want to display. So again, okay, for display, we have to use the same symbol. So we write that one, the same parallelogram, right? So now we say display, 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 what is that? Hello world. Hello world. Usually when you start programming, with any language, so this is usually this would be the first program, like displaying the hello world, right? Okay, right. Now this is not over. Now we have to connect. If you are writing, if you are drawing a flow chart, right, you have to connect each of these boxes. You have to connect it, and you have to end the flow chart with another symbol, which is called the end symbol. Let me draw it like this, then it's easy. Okay. Right. Okay. Good. Now, okay, you have to end the flow chart. See, you have to put a end button here. You have to put an end button. So you have to say end the flow chart. Okay. So this is how you draw a basic flow chart. See. Right. So this is the complete flow chart. Right. If you want, you can adjust this one little up here. Okay. See. Right. Now, look at this one. Right. Right. Now we'll try to understand this. Okay. So look at this one. Okay. Example to display a hello world. Okay. You have to start the flow chart with the oval symbol start button. Then this is our input. This is the input, and this is the output. And finally, so the end of this flow chart. And you have to connect each boxes, each symbols with the aroma. Is that clear? Okay. So before let's note down this example. Right? You can note down this quickly. Then I will tell you what is this. I mean, oval means and the other symbols that we are going to use in this flow chart. So draw this flow chart. Maybe most of you already familiar with this because usually in the schools, they start with this unit 1, right? So maybe most of you familiar with this. So when you are done, you can raise the hands. Just copy down this, right? So just copy down everything, the input, hello world. I think you can, hope you can read. No? Is this very small letters? Or can you read the letters in the screen, in your screen? Maybe you can zoom, right? Okay. Now, so we'll see the symbols, right? What are the symbols we can, I mean, we have to use when drawing a flowchart. Okay. Right. The oval shape. We yes. Any questions? Right. Okay. First one. Again, you have to note down this. Then we will start doing some exercises later. Right. And as I said earlier, the Friday class is very important. Maybe for some reasons, right? Not maybe because of the power cut, or maybe some other reason, right? I don't know. Only 50% of your of the registered students are usually participate in the class. The okay now thing is, so in the Sunday class, I'll be discussing the theory part mostly, right? Mostly I'll be discussing theory part. So if I think you should practice past papers and the model questions as well. So that I will be doing on Friday class or on another paper class. Okay. So here, I don't charge, like I don't charge separately for the paper class. So basically, if you are coming to the theory, it's like just small amount, right? So if you don't come to the paper class, that means you are going to miss the question. So past paper questions, or the theory model questions, right? Maybe HTML, I don't know, maybe HTML, we did some theory as well during the paper class. So what I want, but actually what I expect is everyone should attend the paper class as well, right? Right, okay. If you have any other personal reasons, maybe you can, because I actually try to change the time as well. But some students, they have classes during early morning also, right? So I don't know what to do, but maybe I don't mind really, because but I know, because if you miss that class, you're going to miss the discussions, paper class discussions. Okay, so let's start with this one, with the flow chart. We have the symbol. Okay, you can, let's note down this first. So we start the flow chart and end the flow chart with the oval symbol. So you can write this oval symbol. Okay. Only one start and end. So note down this, only one start and end in a flow chart. you should include only one start and one end. And also, every flow chart must have a start and end. Every flow chart must have a start and end if it is a complete one. Maybe if you are like, if you display a partial one, then it's okay. Right? Okay. Then second one, to represent or to enter the data, right, using the keyboard or maybe using any other input device or input. So we use for the inputs the parallelogram. You draw the parallelogram. So this is how you draw it, parallelograms, right? So you can say that for the input or keyboard values, use parallelogram, or for the output also, or the displays, right? That's as in the previous example, if you want to display something on the screen, on the monitor, so you have to use this parallelogram for input as well as for output. For both, you have to use the parallelogram. Okay. So is anyone still writing this one? Shall we move on to the next page? If anyone writing, you can raise the hands. Zuhra and Hafsa writing, okay. So only, remember, only one start and one end. When you draw flow chart, it should have only one start and one end. Right? Okay. Now, third one. Okay, we have learned about, sir, can you show the previous slide? Yeah. Okay. 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 So let's move on to the next one. Right now, I will do some example on this. Don't worry. So when you have when you have a process, like you say, okay, let's say, for example, if you want to find out the total of two numbers, right? Total or average of two numbers. Okay, so we have to add these two numbers, right? So here again, see, we have this process, right? So you can note down the process, right? Process or actions or calculations, right? See, like this, the subtraction or multiplication, whatever, right? All the process, you have to use the rectangle. So rectangle. Note down third one, the process, for the process or actions, we use rectangle. And write down this also, right? Actions or calculations. Okay. Right. Fourth one, the condition. For condition, remember the condition. For example, let's say we are comparing two numbers, right? If let's say if number one, let's say we have two numbers. If you want to compare these two numbers, n1 and n2, you have to use this conditions, right? We say it's a condition. Remember, we learn like in the structures, right? So when you want to compare these two numbers, or let's say if it is okay, if temperature is greater than or something, let's say 40 degrees. So this is a condition. Or if you say if the marks greater than or equal to 50, right? Like that. So these are conditions with the if statement. For the conditions, right? For the conditions, we use the diamond symbol, the diamond shape. For the conditions, so we say decisions, when you want to make a decision. Okay, if it is raining, okay, you can take the umbrella, like that. So if on the decision, if you want to make a decision, you have to use this diamond symbol. Okay, note down fourth one, conditions or decisions, diamond symbol, diamond, just okay. For example, you can note down. Okay. So you can note down everything in the slide with the examples and everything. So when you revise this, when you study later, this will be useful for you. Right. Okay. Okay. Last one. I guess. Okay. Yeah. Last one. You can write the arrow and the connector. Okay. So arrow one. So arrows or the connectors are used to connect flow charts when flow chart is lengthy. Okay. We use arrows to connect each of these symbols, and also there's another symbol called like this, the connector. We say we'll see what that is this later, right? This is not oval. This should be a circle. I think this should be something like this. Uh, this should be a circle, right? Not an oval one, right? So when you have like different parts of flow charts, we use these symbols to connect this flow, flow different parts. Let's say you have two parts, so you connect both parts like this using this symbol, right? Or if you say if your flow chart is overlapping, or if it is like a big one, so you have to draw into two pages. So one when you finish the first page, you use a connector and you connect the second one. Okay, so you can note down this one. Connectors are used to connect flow charts when flow chart is lengthy, or when we want to break the flow chart into two parts sometimes. For that purpose, we use letters A to Z to name the connector. For example, if it is A, right? So you have another connector like BC, like that. Okay. Okay, now this is a summary of these symbols. Remember, right? So you should remember this, right? So this is very important for coming sessions, right? Right. Okay. Uh, So I will discuss these rules later. So let's do one or two example. And yes, what is this message, sir? Can you show the last slide? Okay. Again, okay. If disconnected, I mean, I have only 40 minutes Zoom now. Only, I mean, this month. So maybe we'll see. So you have to reconnect. Sorry for that. So we have another 1 minute time. So maybe you have to reconnect again, right? So you have to rejoin. Is this the one you want to see? Okay, now we'll do, I will discuss the rules later, right? Right.